Hello, and welcome to another one of my vlogs. Today you find me in the village of Lowick, approximately 8 miles southwest of Berwick-upon-Tweed. I'm up here for a week's holiday, and I thought I'd take you out for a ride. It's quite cool this morning, so it's longs that I've got on. But let's get out on the road and see if we can make our way across to Scotland. Maybe once or twice. I'm leaving Lowick now on the aptly named main street, since the village is all built on one street. No houses off to the side. As you can see, there's some light cloud around at the moment, and it's pretty cold. It's about 7 degrees at the moment. Luckily there's no wind, so we don't have any wind chill really, apart from what I produce on the bike. And look at these roads, totally empty. Absolutely brilliant. This is the village of Ancroft, famed for its 11th century church. But you can see it's typical Scottish villages. A few houses just laid out along the roads, round about some junction. And this is one of the main roads to Berwick. So you can see how quiet it is up in the Scottish borders. Now we're off the main road. It's a series of undulations until we get across to the River Tweed and the English-Scottish border. This is Morton, farm on the left and farm cottages on the right. Beautiful little place. The river below is the River Tweed, which forms the border between England and Scotland. This is the chain bridge over which I'll pass shortly, and it's lucky I came today because in 2 days' time it will be getting closed for a year's worth of essential maintenance. I'll be crossing over into Scotland and doing the first of my raids into the old country. Across the road is the Chain Bridge honey farm. Unfortunately, I can't go in there today because it's closed due to the coronavirus. However, not only is it a honey farm, it's also a museum with an eclectic mix of vehicles, farming equipment, and just about anything else to do with motoring. Well worth a visit if you're up this way. So we'll make our way down the hill and across the Chain Bridge. As you can see, the surface of the bridge is quite worn, and some of the metalwork needs a bit tarting up to get rid of the rust. Here's the guys getting ready to prepare for start. Here we are in Scotland, to the little hamlet of Tweed Hill, which is all behind the wall on the right. Must be part of an estate, I think. And what you can see disappearing into the distance is one of the occasional cars that pass me as I'm on these roads. Really quiet, done now 15 miles, and that's only the third car that's passed me. Can't say that about Teesside, can you? We're going to turn left here and leave the main A road that runs along from Berwick to Coldstream, and turn in onto the quiet roads. This is the pretty village of Horndean. Again, just a few houses, all stuck out in the country, presumably based on farmhouses originally, and those for the workers. This is the village of Ladyborough, and as you can see, there's a fantastic church here. Look at it, made out of red sandstone. Every time I come here it looks as if it's just been cleaned. It's a beautiful church. Look at that. Worth coming and having a visit if you can. I always think it's a fantastic view. Clock suggests it was built in 1882. Probably correct, but maybe there was a church here before. Here's a view of the River Tweed. Fishermen out there as well. Forms the border, as I've said before, between Scotland and England, and we'll be leaving it shortly. Luckily, with our raid into Scotland, I haven't seen Nicola or any of her kilted warriors chasing me to put me into isolation. Well, we've made our way downhill onto the bridge, and at the centre we'll be back into England. So, hard luck, Nicola, didn't catch me. The England sign. Now we've only got a few miles left on the easy section of this ride. So far we've done the undulations around the Tweed Valley, but soon we'll be turning and making off towards the hills that are on the right. Maybe we'll get a better view of them somewhere along the road. We'll do a ridge run right out and back into Scotland again. Risk another chance of having to self-isolate if Nicola catches me. And then we'll turn and come back down the valley. The River Tweed is about 60 feet off to my right. That's the last time we'll see it today, as we now turn left for the hills. Thank goodness we're off the busy A roads and onto the minors. We are now faced with the climb up rig end onto the ridge, where we'll continue to climb for quite a while. Good, road's clear. A little bit of a climb ahead of us. not too much when you see it from here, but once you get on it, you certainly know it. Well, that was hard today. Straight into the southwest wind, but managed it. We'll just keep going. It's straight into wind right along the ridge. There's a couple of folds in this ridge. We've just come through the first and we'll climb up, and the junction at the top we'll reach the second. Here's the second fold in this ridge. At the junction ahead we'll turn left and then right to climb up the rest of the ridge that's straight ahead of us. At the top of that we'll be turning right and going straight along the top. As you can see here, the climbing never stops along this ridge. It's just getting higher and higher. If you fancy being a hermit and living miles from anybody else, maybe you should consider buying this house. I think the nearest neighbours are something like 1.5 miles away. Well, you'd certainly be out of the way. Well, here's the nearest neighbours, just over 1.25 miles away. Now we've finally done about 8 miles along the ridge and just starting to come to the end, where we'll slowly wind down and then turn left and start to get the wind helping us. Boy, it's been a bit hard along there. It's supposed to be 3 to 5 mile an hour winds. Well, I think it's more like 12 to 15, and then it gets stronger where it's funneled in amongst the trees. Well, just have to make the best of it. We're turning left here. We still got a little bit of climbing to do, but not much. Even though it's cloudy when the forecast said it would be sunny intervals, the views across the valley are quite stunning. It's absolutely beautiful up here. Out with this wind and it's brilliant. Look at that over there, all them polytunnels. I wonder what is growing underneath them. Look at the colours on the leaves to the side. Autumn's certainly coming now. I'll say it quietly, I'm in Scotland. Don't tell Nicola. But ahead of us, as you can see, the Cheviots. And we'll be riding down one of the valleys with those on our right. So they look blooming beautiful again, even in dull weather. Fantastic. So let's get going. This is the main street of Town Yetham. Still in Scotland, but not the place where I'm going to stop to eat my lunch, as we'll turn right follow that van and make our way across to Kirkyatham. Here we are, crossing the Beaumont Water, along which we'll cycle off and on for the next few miles. I've stopped here in Kirkyatham to eat my lunch. Kirkyatham is famous for being the north end of the long distance walk, the Pennine Way. This road ahead is the last road you descend as you complete that ride. Early on, Alfred Wainwright used to have a standing order at the Border Hotel for people who finished the Pennine Way. They were able to go and have a free half pint of beer on him, but towards the end of his life it became too expensive for him and he had to cancel that. So these days, if you complete the Pennine Way, unfortunately you're going to have to buy your own beer. Well, I'll have my lunch now and I'll pick you up again in a few minutes. See you shortly. I'm leaving Kirkyatham to cycle down the valley now. But although I say down the valley, there are quite a few lifts that you got to go up to get around headlands. So we'll just start making our way along here and I'll show you some of those as we come to them. And there we are, back into England. Sorry Nicola, you didn't get me this time either. Now we come to the big long climb here. But maybe a mile and a half. You see the hedge line in front there going up at an angle. That's the start of the hill. The only good thing is it's fairly constant gradient all the way up. Here we are at the top of the hill and the view's brilliant. Look across there. I might have forgotten to tell you there's a flatter road the other side of the Beaumont Water. Probably you can see that wagon going past on it. Slightly busier than this one though. Well, let's get on. Time's parching on and there was rain forecast for 4 or 5 o'clock, so let's try and make sure I get back before 4. Now we've done the climbing, we get to get the fun off going down. We're now making our way across to that main road on the opposite side of Beaumont Water, using this pack horse bridge here. It's only for foot and cycle traffic now, no motorbikes or anything else. And once we get on the main road, turn right. We'll go along maybe half a mile. Just round the corner here we'll be leaving the main road and climbing up the ridge end. Starts at a fairly stiff 15%-ish, and then it's even tougher, coming up to about 25%. So you can just see the start of it in front. Don't expect me to be talking while we're going up here. Levels off for a little bit here, but we've still got to get right up on the top, just up by the trees. And I use this a cottage for the hermit. Absolutely miles out the road. Oh, female pheasants. At least it's down about 10% now for this bit. There we are, just about at the top now. Woo! I think I'll stop and have a drink. But don't get complacent, there's still more hills to come, and the next one's just as tough but not as long. We're starting to drop down the other side of the ridge now, but I want to really follow the ridge right along to a village called Millfield. So although we're dropping down here, we'll soon be turning right, and that will take us to another climb to get back up onto the edge of the ridge. And as you can see ahead, there's quite a climb back up onto the ridge. Tops out at about 25% at the top. So we'll just take it easy all the way up. A bit bouncy at the bottom here, so when my way through here we'll try to lose too much speed. And how's this for a view across the Cheviots? Some of them in the background, some of them in the foreground. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Could have done with some sunshine. Well, the last two hills certainly started to take it out of my legs. Glad we've got a bit of a downhill shortly, but that's most of the big hills gone now. Just one towards the end, and once we're up on the top of that ridge, it's not too bad after that. So I'll have a quick rest here. We're just coming along to what's known as Ford Anito. It's really three villages that have come together to offer tourist attraction in this area. At the junction along here, turning right would take us up to Ford. We're going to turn left and go along by Hathersage and then Etal. In all three villages there's cafes and there's different other attractions. In Ford there is an antique shop and an old school. In Hathersage you've got a cafe, an old mill where you can buy milled products like oatmeal and oats for making muesli. And in Etal you've got a castle and a cafe, and you can do several walks from there. Hathersage and Etal are also connected by a miniature railway, sometimes running steam trains and others diesel. It's only about 15-inch gauge, but does carry passengers between the two. It follows along the side of the River Till that joins the two villages. It would be quite possible to use the train to go in one direction and walk back the mile or so along the road in the other. At the right here, at the top of the hill, you could go up to Hay Farm, Heavy Horse, and there you would be able to see Shires and Clydesdales and some other animals like pigs and sheep. But the interesting thing is the horses. Hathersage Mill is a water mill, and in non-COVID times it's possible to arrange a tour of the workings, but it's currently closed, as is the railway. So unfortunately I can't take you in and show you any of the trains. Hopefully next time I'm here it'll be possible to go in and see them. Etal village is in here to the left. The castle's right at the end along with the railway station, and the Lavender Cafe is there. And if you ever go there, try the lavender tea. That's really nice. And now we're going to turn right and make for Lowick and the end of the ride. Only one problem, another ridge. Some of that is about 10 to 15% on the climb. Not too bad at the bottom. in is another pretty little village. Again, all situated along one street, most of them being called Main Street. It's the penultimate village that we'll pass through on our way back to Lowick. I'm going to leave the main road, which would take me back to Lowick, and take the back road in, quieter and, well, just for the hell of it, a bit steeper. I omitted to say that at the beginning of the ride that Lowick was at the top of a hill. And here we go, up a rough track to get to the top of that hill. Lowick's just only about another half-mile up the road, so I think I'll finish the video here. Although, just to give you a flavour of what Lowick's like, I'll use a quick run through the village as the closing shot for the video. Well, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Been a bit harder in that wind, but I hope you've enjoyed being along, seeing the sights. There's a good one over my shoulder at the moment, and if you're lucky and peered right into the distance, you might even see the sea. Well, thanks again for watching the video, and I hope to see you in the next one. If you want notifications of my videos, you know what to do. Subscribe below and hit the bell icon and then click all, and you get notifications of all my videos. Until we meet again next time, bye for now, stay safe.